The president also roused the crowd with his shout out to the son of a barkeep who rose to Speaker of the House, which brought this online Vine response from Speaker Boehner.
I appreciate what the president has said tonight, but I'm one of those Americans who are asking the question, where are the jobs?
And with that, let's go to the man sitting right next to the Speaker, Vice President Joe Biden. Good morning, Mr. Vice President. So what's the answer to Speaker Boehner? Where are the jobs?
The jobs are in jobs and good jobs, middle-class jobs are in matching skills to the real increase we have in high-tech manufacturing in this country, getting out there, beginning to rebuild the infrastructure of this country, which has to be built to the 21st century, matching educational skills to the needs of the new economy. And that's what the president talked about last night. He talked about everything from early education to using community colleges to retrain people for the high-tech jobs of the future. And there are plenty of jobs out there. There's a mismatch now in terms of skills and the jobs that are available.
You mentioned the mismatch between skills and jobs. There may also be a mismatch between what needs to be done and what the president can do with these executive orders. They're relatively limited. Can you even say how many workers are going to get a raise because of the president's executive order on the minimum wage?
Well, there'll be thousands, tens of thousands will get it. But look, here's the point. I was asked earlier by a press person about why are we just doing this alone. We're not doing this alone. We want the Congress to come along. There are a number of avenues. There's local ways to do this. States have already done this. But here's what the president can't do. The president can't sit there and say that someone working 40 hours a week should live in poverty when the people cleaning the offices and pressing the uniforms of our military, then those people are getting only $7 an hour. So he has to act where he can. My prediction to you is it's going to set an example.
So the question is, can you guarantee that any of those bipartisan initiatives the president wants will actually pass this year?
Hey, George, I served in the Senate for 36 years. Even when we all got along well, I couldn't guarantee anything. What I can guarantee you is that the Congress has become increasingly aware that the public, by over 81% of them, think that they're not doing their job, and they're getting it. And so one of the things the president does, and you know this as well as anybody, is go out and make the case to the American people why things have to be done. It does have the effect of seeping down through the political strata here. And for example, Boehner and the Speaker and I were sitting there talking before the State of the Union, and he thinks we're going to be able to move on immigration. Well, this time last year, everybody said, no, there's no possibility. Not going to happen. The Congress will never do it. President Wen said, I need your help. In the meantime, he moved to do everything he could to alleviate the trauma brought about by the fact that the Congress is not acting. But we expect the Congress to act.
Bob Gates, former Secretary of Defense, had a pretty harsh assessment of you in his recent memoir. Said you've been wrong on every major foreign policy issue over the past 4 decades. I know you haven't responded publicly yet. What's your response now?
Well, look, there was only a couple mentions of me. One was I'm a man of great integrity. I choose to focus on that piece. All kidding aside, I think Bob's a guy of great integrity. I like Bob. We have just disagreed in every major foreign policy issue since Vietnam.
Finally, Mr. Vice President, you know this question is coming. It's coming for the next 3 years or so. We're seeing former Secretary of State Hillary Clinton revving up her campaign right now. Allies organizing in Iowa, even though she hasn't formally decided. A lot of Democrats assuming you won't run for president if she does. Are they right?
I haven't made a decision what I'm going to do. I haven't decided to run or not run. And if I run, it won't be who's in the field. It'll be whether or not I honestly believe I have a chance to be able to really move this country in a direction that is different than those who are running, and that I can get that done. And I'll make that decision later. But now's not the time to talk about that. Now's the time to talk about the opportunity we have this year.
We'll let you get back to your job. Thanks for joining us this morning.
Thanks an awful lot, George.